so much fur in my face. What's that? Oh, what's that? Over there. We've got 2 more sessions of D&D left. I'm getting blood work done on Wednesday. Little hugs. I love when she does this, when it's like a little paw on either side of my collarbone. Just give me a little hug. My booster shot went fine, just the usual expected 24 hours of shittiness. It felt equal to or even less symptoms than my previous shot, because if you remember, I'm not sure if I talked about this in this vlog series, but my first Pfizer shot, I felt like garbage for like 48 hours, and I felt like, you know, like I was sick, which is understandable. And then the second Pfizer shot, I was fine. It was like 24 hours, didn't feel good, whatever, like expected. So that's what the booster shot was. It was just equivalent to that, basically. It's funny, the first time that I tried to register myself for the shot through Walgreens websites, they said that I wasn't eligible, and I was like, okay. My friends have gotten them, so let me go backwards and see what's up. And you go to the check boxes where they're like, do you have a pre-existing condition that qualifies you to like something or other? And I looked on the list, and depression was one of them. So I was like, oh, okay, I actually, you know, I have a story. I am in this group. I don't know how they're gonna make me prove that I have depression. Maybe I should show them some of my videos. But I checked that box, and then they were like, cool, no, you're registered. When do you want your shot? And I was like, okay. And I got a little nervous because I was like, what am I gonna do if they make me prove? How does one prove that? And I tried looking up online. There wasn't any information on how I could prove that I have depression. So I just got the date and was just crossing my fingers that it would work. And it's funny because I needed to pick up a prescription at my Walgreens, and that specific Walgreens was not offering the Pfizer boosters. So I had to go to a Walgreens and then take a lift from that Walgreens to another Walgreens. And when we got there, the Lyft driver was like, are you going to another Walgreens? And I was like, yes, Pfizer booster shot. And he was like, but I got there, they didn't make me prove anything, they just gave me the booster. So, in and out real fast. I would think that, I would hope that like there wasn't even a line of any kind. There was just the amount of people that were getting the booster was a fine amount of people. Where it was like me and like maybe 2 others. I got there early for my appointment. I did the paperwork. Hello, baby. And I was in and out in, I want to say 10-15 minutes. Like, no big deal, fine. And I guess they're just grateful that someone wants the booster in Texas. They're like, yes, please. Like, I don't even care. Just, please, people get the shot, please. Got the shot, felt a little sick for like 24 hours. My arm was sore, that was it. I don't know if you can see how cute she is right now, but she is, oh, what a little baby. Hello. She's been so extra cuddly because of the cold weather. I think I've figured out what project I want to work on while I'm in recovery. Usually, you know, with these surgeries, I like to have a project to distract me. And I think it's gonna be now I don't want to talk about it because if it doesn't turn out to be anything, then like, you know, I don't want to get people's hopes up. But I think I want to work on a found footage project because I fucking love found footage stuff. And I watched Blair Witch Project and it really inspired me. Like 1/3 into the movie, I got an idea for a screenplay. So I've been writing that and we'll see where that goes. But it's cool that I have it picked out. I've been dumping my brain onto the page the last couple days since I thought of it. And you know, surgery, being in recovery helps you to like, I don't know, it just kind of resets my brain. We wrapped filming on the Raycon commercial on my birthday, which is fantastic. Like, it's out now, and that's nuts to me. It's just a thing you could watch online. It was a fun, silly thing that we filmed for Raycon because they sponsored one of our videos, and I got to do stunt work for the first time, and I got to yell about cum and fight with swords. It was a good time. I literally cannot think of a better way to spend my birthday than acting, and I got a burger, and we finally gave me a key to the office. We went and like made it, and it was fun because like all four of us, like Nick, Scott, Stefan, and I were there, and it was like this making of the key and this passing on of like, I don't know, it feels official that I live here now. I can't wait to do more shit like that, you know? So it inspires me to like heal up so I can go do more cool shit. And with the movie idea that I'm working on, you know, like once I heal up, we can go shoot that, and that seems really fun. That's all I want to do with life. I just want to make cool shit with my buds and have a penis. That's all I want. I'm a simple man. I just want two things in life. Make cool shit, have a dick. Speaking of which, I had to go get big sweatpants because that is one of the things on the list of stuff. I'm not sure if I talked about this before, but you know, going through recovery, they suggested I get big sweatpants, like a size bigger than I usually wear, to make room for my massive hog. And boy howdy, do I have a nice pair of dick pants now. And mom gave me sandals for my birthday, like really squishy, like feel good hospital sandals, basically, because you know, I'm not gonna be able to bend over and stuff. It's gonna be more difficult to put shoes on. So she thought of me, and now I got big dick pants and soft squishy sandals. I was Spider-Man for Halloween, and it made me realize that I need to figure out a new way of like, I was gonna say packing, but I guess it is packing my dick into that suit. I was a little worried that I wouldn't fit in it because I've gained like at least 3 inches, maybe more, around my chest, and my back has gotten a lot wider, and I've gained a lot more muscle since the last time I wore that suit. I haven't gotten drunk in a Spider-Man costume in 2 years, and luckily I still fit. I just needed someone's help to like zip it in the back. I can't do it on my own, even a little anymore. And usually I wear underwear that is made for trans men, where it has it's the ones that I showed you, the rodeo ones. I usually wear that for my Spider-Man costume, and it's got a bulge in the front. And it made me realize like, I have to figure out what to do with my big dick now that I'm, you know, dancer belt? There's gotta be something. There has to be something for people with big penises. And that's something I've had to look up online, is like, how do guys, what do you do with your penis if it's just naturally big? How do you put it to one side, whatever the fuck. I think I talked about that before, but now I have to think about it in terms of cosplay. Not the worst problem to have. I also realized that the overnight oats, one of the food things that I picked out that would be easy for me to eat while I'm recovering, while it is easy to make, and I can do it with one hand, where you pour in the milk, you pour in the oats, and then shutting it is going to be difficult, I'm realizing, as I'm saying this. Because if this isn't the bottle, but if it was the bottle, you've got this part, the bottle part, and then you got the lid part. And if the lid isn't there, right, I set this on the counter, and then I put this on it. If I turn it, just imagine I don't have a left hand or use of it, you know, if I turn it, the bottle might turn with it. I gotta figure that out. But on a different note, I was thinking about the fact that sometimes it's difficult to open, because the oat thing has a, you know what, I can get it. Hey, get down. Get down. You're gonna burn yourself. What are you doing, you silly girl? Okay, this is the problem with the cold weather. Khaleesi was just sitting on the stove where I've just made food because it's warm, and she's like, oh, this will be a nice place for me to get warm. No, baby, please don't. She's so smart, but she's so stupid, which I can relate to. Anyway, this is the oats bottle. And even if I manage to get this shut on my own, it's tough. And it makes sense that it's tough to open because, you know, you don't want your oats flying everywhere when you shake it, but like, so I've had to think about that. And I can have the oats, it's worth bringing them to Austin because I will have help while I'm recovering there at least. So I'll have my mom to open my oats bottle for me. But it's made me had to rethink that as one of the foods that I'll be able to eat on my own. Another thing I've realized is that I have a tea shot that I need to do. I'm not sure if I talked about this in a previous vlog, but I have a tea shot day on Tuesday. It's technically like Monday into Tuesday. I usually do it at like midnight or like 1 a.m. on Tuesday. And so I need to ask my surgeon basically, like, hey, can someone help me do my tea shot? But besides that, I am not thinking about like the 3 weeks after, 4 weeks after, 5 weeks after. Oh God. I don't want to have to make anyone help me with my tea shots after my mom leaves. Okay, it might be overwhelming. Let's handle this in segments. So the first challenge, right, is, okay, who's going to do my T-shot after I leave the hospital? My mom. So I need to make a T-shot video for her. I actually have a T-shot tonight, Monday into Tuesday. So I need to make a video of how I do it. And she'll be able to help me with that. Cool. But, oh God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when I come home? When I'm not in Austin? I think I'm just gonna have to stab myself. Like, usually what you do is I take my left hand and I hold a bit of fat, from my body, and I pull it a little bit to separate it from the rest of my body, and then I inject with my right hand. Oh, fuck, this is gonna be tough. I think I'm just gonna have to stab myself. I'm not gonna have anything to pull the body fat away, so I'm just gonna have to inject. I'm gonna ask my surgeon. That's the thing about this. It feels like I'm alone in this, but I'm not. So many people have had the surgery before me. In modern times, there's no way no one has asked about this specific problem. You're catering specifically to people who have to do T-shots in order to get this surgery. Like, you can't have this surgery unless you've been on at least a year of T. So I can't be the only person who's asked about this. So I'll ask him, we'll see what's up. I don't think I'm gonna have sex again before surgery. I think I'm good. Like, I don't know. The thing is, thinking about sex in the body that I'm supposed to be in with my penis feels so good that it's kind of better jerking off thinking about that than having actual sex. Which makes sense logically. But yeah, I don't know, I think I'm good. I don't really have the urge to have sex right now. I want to penetrate people, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a switch, but okay, let's get real. Just thinking idly, like, it comes up, I'm not even trying to masturbate or anything. If I just think about being in the body that I'm supposed to be in and a sexual thing happens with someone, it gets my T-dick so hard almost immediately that it puts out any doubt in my mind that I'm not supposed to be having the surgery. You know what I mean? Like, there are no doubts anyway. Gwen Stefani, that's a stupid joke. But it's made even more clear that this is definitely the right choice, and I'm very excited about it when that happens. Just the thought of it is so much better than anything I could experience right now. So yeah, I have a sex drive. I'm masturbating probably, like, I don't know, at least once every couple days, at least once a day. How often? I don't think about how much I do it. I say, okay, I think it's like 3 days in a row, once a day, and then I'll take a break, and then I'll start again. So my sex drive, that's good for my sex drive. That's, I feel like I finally balanced out, because when you first start T, even further back, before I started T, I didn't masturbate, I didn't feel anything for that, and I couldn't come, so there was no real point. I start T, my sex drive fucking goes through the roof, I'm jerking off multiple times a day. Then it stabilizes a bit, I get more aromantic, I move to Philly, and I start having sex regularly, and I'm still masturbating quite a bit. And now I'm here, at this point in my life where everything is stabilized, I've had stage 0 surgery, and I'm really comfortable in my body and my sexuality, and I'm ready for the next step, taking the stage 1 surgery into account. So this is perfect. This feels really good and nice that I'm jerking off once a day for 3 days in a row, and then I'll take a break and then do it again. Everything's coming together. Everything's coming together. Oh, except one thing. I found out that my insurance is not covering my electrolysis, despite the fact that I have a letter of medical necessity. And I think there was a law of some kind that passed, and it might just be in California, but I'm pretty sure there was something that is like, hey, don't be transphobic. If someone needs this thing for their surgery to happen, and you cover the surgery, but you don't cover the thing that they need to get to the surgery, you're a piece of shit. What are you doing? Besides the fact that I am getting them a fantastic deal on electrolysis because Dan gives us a discount for being trans. So This is like nothing, dude. It's like $65 a session. It's the cheapest electrolysis possible for you to cover. So the fact that I have those prices, plus the letter of medical necessity, plus all of this other shit, and you're still not covering it, this sucks. You suck. So we're gonna look into it and see if there's something we can do. I'm not a veteran. I know the VA is covering that, but I don't know. There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something somewhere. And if not, then whatever. But we need to at least try, Because that's the thing about these things is it doesn't just affect me. It affects everyone who tries to get this surgery after me. So okay, here's the thing. It is related. Let me just go off on a tangent. Last night, I went to IHOP with some friends, and I needed syrup for my pancakes. But I am bad at asking for things for myself, so I was gonna keep silent. But my friend also needed syrup for his pancakes. And I was very comfortable with asking the waiter, flagging them down, and being like, hey, can we get some syrup? Because he needed syrup. Not because of me, not because it would benefit me, but because I was doing it for someone else, then it made it okay and it canceled out my anxiety. That's the same thing that's happening right now with the electrolysis, where if it was just for me, I wouldn't really I'd be like, oh, okay, and just kind of deal with it. But I'm realizing it doesn't just affect me, it affects other people who might have difficulty advocating for themselves to get their electrolysis covered. So I need to try my best to make sure they know, hey, you have to cover this procedure. Because I'm really fortunate in how much privilege I have and how much exposure and shit that I get. But someone else might not be as lucky. Someone else might not have as much cushion room with money as I do. And I do not have money, but I am still really fortunate and I'm able to live in this apartment and keep the heat on. So someone else might be having a more difficult time. Someone else might have kids. Someone else might have a shitty family that they, don't have a lot of money because of, or blah, blah, blah. Whatever your family situation is, whatever your friend's situation is, whatever your situation is as a person. I need to do my best to advocate for myself because it will benefit someone else in the future. Which is part of why I'm getting this surgery, is because, like I was talking about before, I'm like, hey, you've had so much success with these surgeries, I will, do your thing, man, and we'll see how we can benefit humanity together. I think I'm gonna clean up my food and go see Last Night in Soho because it's a 4 p.m. showing, and the last time I checked, there was one person who got a seat in the theater, and I'm not comfortable seeing a theater in movies right now that's what I said. I'm not comfortable seeing a theater in movies right now unless I'm gonna be the only one in the movie. As few people in the movie as possible, so we can see a theater, Anyway, have a good day. Shaping up the beard a little bit. Tell me you have an absent father without telling me you have an absent father. How to shave. Okay, the thing is, I have this razor that I got a long ass time ago, and I don't know, I have some neck beard going on, because being in the Brony fan, of course, it was inevitable. What the fuck? There's a button and it vibrates. And I don't know enough about razors to know if this is still sharp. And since we're doing it on my neck, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing it with this. So maybe for my first shave, you will not get actual cartoon, shaving cream on the fucking face. I did just replace the blade in my Manscaped, so there's a guard. If this is good enough for balls, I think it's good enough for my face. I feel. So let's see how this goes. This might be such a bad idea. At least it's on camera. Okay. Yeah, alright. The thing is, I don't know what shape to be making. Ah. It's not itchy at all. Let's do the other side. And I'm just cleaning up, so I guess it's not, you know, I can't, it's not like I'm shaving my whole face with this thing. It's not, I can't make a terrible mistake. Yeah, honestly, that's fine. I just wanted to clean up the parts that are like on the neck and I distinctly will not need. Fuck yeah, dude. That felt cool. There you go, you got to see my first shave. We'll see if that gets itchy or anything. Yeah, the Manscaped has been great. Non-spawn, I always have to say that. But I've had this thing for like a year or two, maybe? You're supposed to replace the blades every like 3 or 4 months or something like that, and I only just replaced mine. I was bad about it. I only replaced the blades once I was trying to like manscape, and then just got just a little caught in it where it wasn't like, it didn't rip out my hair or anything, but it was just like, hey, maybe this would work better if the blade was actually sharp and you actually did what the manufacturers told you to do. Ah, feels good. I feel manly. Ah. So I got my blood taken yesterday, and it was a really good experience. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So I got my new GP here in Texas, and I asked them, hey, I want to get a blood test done because I'm getting surgery. Can I do that there? Because I was expecting that I would have to find like a Quest Diagnostics or something like that, because that's what I went to when I was in Philadelphia. And they got back to me and were like, yeah, sure, come on in, you know, at this date. So I went in yesterday, and it was really nice. The guy who was running the front desk, the receptionist, he was also the one to take my blood. So we went back, and I sometimes pass out when I get blood taken, so I like to lie down. So I'm lying down, and he starts, you know, I'm not looking at the thing because like getting blood taken fucking sucks, and I have to do it every 3 months or so just to make sure my T levels are good. And the way I get through it is I just picture that it's gonna be the most painful thing I've ever experienced ever, and then whatever pain it is much less than that, so it feels fine. So I'm laying there mentally preparing, and I hear him go, this is the best part of my day. And I'm like, And then I just lay there because I'm trying to think like, what does he mean by that? Because, you know, and then a few seconds later I'm like, taking people's blood? And he's like, yeah. And then he has to go in the next room for a thing, and there's no follow-up. There's zero follow-up to what was just said. And I'm so glad that I'm wearing a mask, because I'm just laying there giggling to myself, being like, what the fuck? What does that mean? What is it? What? And then he comes back, and I get the feeling that he has thought about how there was no follow-up to that statement, and is like, yeah, you know, I'm like a little vampire. And here's the thing, when I am on a roller coaster or I'm in a plane and I start getting disaster brain, where I'm like, oh fuck, what if the plane crashes? What if the roller coaster like goes off the tracks and I die? What if, you know, you think about all these what if scenarios, like what if this is the last time that I'm alive? And what totally relaxes me in that situation is I just think, well, there's nothing we can do about that. If this roller coaster is gonna go off the tracks, we are up here, there's physically nothing we can do, there's literally nothing we can do to stop us from being on this roller coaster, so we might as well enjoy ourselves. And then worst case we die, best case we enjoy a fun thing. And that's what I do in this scenario, where I'm like, great, you know what? Let's trust the vampire. Because you gotta trust the vampire at that point. And so I laugh and I'm like, you know what, that's good, because that means you're probably good at it. And he laughs. And then I experience the best blood draw I have ever received in my life. It doesn't feel like he's done anything. Like I'm closing my eyes and I know that he's doing something because he's doing the little movements. You know, if you've gotten blood taken, you know that, you know, they put it in and then they're like waiting and then they do a little, I haven't physically looked, but I assume they're like doing little pumps or they're like replacing the vial in order to get a different sample or whatever the fuck. I can feel him doing something, but it doesn't feel like anything is in my arm. And I'm just laying there like, it's happening, right? Is it? Is it in yet? And then like that, he's done. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I told him, I was like, that was the best blood draw I've ever gotten. It didn't feel like you did anything. And honestly, leaving the office and coming back home, I was still in denial that he had taken my blood. Like, I got home, took off the bandage that they had put on, and there was the tiniest little prick. Like, itty bitty blood was taken. I'm still in shock, and it's like 24 hours later. So you know what? Trust the vampire. Sometimes you have to trust the vampire. And that is a new saying for my life. But yeah, I feel so good that my blood work is done. I've gotten that taken care of, and they're gonna fax it over to the people who need it. It's coming up, y'all. It's fucking, oh my god. Nowadays, I am way more excited than I am nervous. Like, the nervousness is, the closer we get to the date, the nervousness is diminishing, and the excitedness is getting more pronounced. Also, we found out that there is unfortunately nothing we can do about the electrolysis not being covered. My mom talked to a lawyer friend of hers, and the basic gist of it is Texas sucks. If I was in California, it'd be a totally different case, but Texas, there's unfortunately nothing, like, it's so silly. It's so silly that you will be like, yeah, trans healthcare, we will cover your surgery for phalloplasty, but we won't cover the electrolysis that is medically necessary to get the phalloplasty. It's Texas. Can we have a chat, Texas? But also through that conversation with my mom, I found out she confirmed what I had thought about the no purple or red. If you remember on the list, it says no purple or red Gatorade or Powerade or whatever for the bowel prep stuff. And I was talking to her about it on the phone, and she was like, yeah, because my mom had colorectal cancer, and so she gets colonoscopies. I don't want to say regularly. Regularly? Is it? I don't want to say regularly because apparently I can't say the word physically. She's no stranger to colonoscopies. You know the rules, and so do I, now that she's told me them. Red and purple, they don't want to accidentally think that you're bleeding in an area that you shouldn't be. So that's why they don't want you to drink anything red or purple. So no red or purple Jell-O or popsicles or Gatorade for me. A very sweet, confusing gesture that was about to happen. And I'm gonna preface this by saying, hello, birth father. If you're watching this video, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I just think it's very sweet. So in that conversation with my mom, apparently my birth father felt bad that I was going to be alone for the first process of, getting to Austin and doing my pre-op stuff and the bowel prep and all that. And so he was going to surprise me by flying to Texas. He lives in California. He was gonna get a hotel in the same place that I was and surprise me and spend a couple days with me and drive me to my operation in the morning on the Monday. And my mom was like, I hope you don't mind I intercepted it a little bit because I wasn't sure if that was something you would want. And I appreciate that. Very sweet, very cool that he cares because as, our relationship has been of a child of divorce and a father not really being there or paying child support or being there in a way where I was growing up and know who this person is, but who is trying now to establish a relationship with me, I felt very loved. But also, this is a very vulnerable time for me, and it would have been a very nice offer. Not a great surprise. I think if we had a more intimate relationship where we were hanging out with each other before this point or talking or something other than random text messages, it would have been, that's very sweet of a surprise, rather than, oh no, I'm getting penis surgery, I'm very vulnerable right now, I think I need some time alone. So it was a wild fucking gesture, but also I genuinely felt loved. So that's a very funny way to understand that someone cares about you, because it's family has always been weird to me, I've never really had a close understanding or feeling of family. Blood really doesn't mean anything to me, and that's probably just because of trauma, and I'm just, when you don't know who you are or what body you're comfortable in, of course you don't know what your relationship to other people is. So, if I'm more comfortable in my body and my mind, maybe I will have more of a connection to other people. But as it is right now, I've been kind of isolating myself. So I don't really have a gauge of if people care about me. So it was odd. I'm surprised by how nice I found the gesture afterwards. It's a shock. It's an anxiety, at first. But the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I was like, oh, I did not know he gave a shit about me. Because a lot of family stuff, to me at least, has been obligation. I feel like we don't really give a shit about family members sometimes, but we sign the card, or we send the happy birthday text message just so that they don't hate us. And maybe that's why family dynamics have always been skeevy feeling to me. Where it's like, I know you don't give a shit about grandma or grandpa, but you have to text them so that they, give you money at Christmas. And it's like, no, I want to care about people that I care about. Like, I will text them because I care about them. I don't want anything in return. And I've been very fortunate in my family dynamics that even though I don't really give a shit about family in the traditional way, they're all like supportive of me and are like not transphobic and shit, and I'm very grateful for that. But some trans people have the opposite, where their family isn't supportive of them and they still have to attend family gatherings and stuff. So I think, it feels, the family's always felt weird to me. So it feels nice that there is a genuine like, hey, I'm going to reach out and try to do something nice for you, even if it's a little misguided. Because you know what? At least he's trying. My stepdad, I don't even know if he knows what's happening. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't reach out in any actual way. And that's fine, because we have an established dynamic where it's like, hey, I will tolerate each other. But fathers, whether they are a stepdad or a birth father, they do kind of have that dynamic where they feel like, oh, you're my son, so like, you just love me by default and I don't have to do anything about it, right? And meanwhile, we're all getting older and we're being like, no, if I don't care that we are related by blood or by marriage of, you marrying my mom. If you're not trying to establish a relationship with me, then we're not gonna have a relationship. I'm not gonna respect you just because you're like my dad. So I think that's why my birth father genuinely just trying to reach out and do something nice because he cares about me and wants me to be happy is such a surprise to me. So while it is not something that I want, at least right now, because also just in combination, I'm gonna get my COVID test and I'm not gonna be able to hang out with anyone and I have to isolate, and that's why I'm gonna be alone for Thanksgiving and also into my surgery. It's still appreciated because it is way more than my stepdad could ever want to do for me. I cannot imagine my stepdad doing that for me. That would not happen in a million years, and also I wouldn't want it. And so my mom was like, don't worry, I'll relay the message, and she talked to my birth father about it, was like, hey, it's appreciated, but he's not gonna be able to like hang out with anyone and explain the COVID situation and all that. And you know what my birth father's response was? He said he loves me and he wants to hang out with me when I feel better, when I recover from surgery. And that's fucking great. There was no animosity, there was no insisting. It was just, I want to do what Jesse is comfortable with. And that fucking rules. Because that's another thing that would be uncomfortable, is if a father figure comes back into your life and is trying to force a relationship with you and being like, no, I'm gonna make you love me. And that's not what's happening. It's a comfortable, mutual exchange between men being like, hey, I would like to have more of a relationship with you. And we can do that on your time. And that's what makes it comfortable and good. So that's a fun, wild thing that happened yesterday. And you know what? It feels great. It feels great that my mom had to intercept a situation that might be uncomfortable for me, but because someone cares about me. What's that mean? He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit. I would much rather have a relationship with a father who is trying to reach out and do something nice for me and also understands if he's overstepping bounds, rather than a dude who's just not doing anything and just assumes that I'm going to love him because he pays for my phone bill. That is not a father-son relationship, that is a bank, If that's all you have to offer, that's great, and it's appreciated, but it's not a father-son dynamic. Wow, I just had my first shave, and if you could even call it that, I guess it is technically my first shave. First shave, I leave for Austin in less than 2 weeks. It's all becoming very real. I don't even know when this video is gonna come out. What do I do? I guess I can make all of this, like, pre-stage 1 vlogs and just put it out before I leave for Austin. That sounds correct. Ugh, y'all, I have so many memes, I have so many tweets saved up in my phone bank. I'm going to unleash so much dick-themed humor at you. You don't even, you just wait. I want to get some headshots done before I leave, because this is gonna be like my last chance to really do it while I'm feeling good, and also to like body progress, My arm's gonna look different. I asked Stefan if he'd be able to take some pictures of me before I leave, so we will have to schedule that at some point. I don't know. You never feel ready. I don't know if I'm good at looking sexy. And especially in the context of like Hello, this is one of my closest friends taking pictures of me, and now I have to be sexy in front of him. It's gonna, you know what? It's good practice. It's good practice because we're filming a lot of projects together, and I'm going to have to like act in front of him, and I've already acted in front of him. I'm gonna have to act in different scenarios. You know, I'm gonna play characters that are going to be sexy. I'm going to play characters that I have to portray a certain thing. You gotta portray a certain thing. Wow, I'm excited. The nervousness is gone. Fuck, I can't wait. Are you ready? We can skip rocks. Woo! We can edit that in post, right? I've been stung by a bee once, and it was in my neck, and I did not know it was a bee. I was walking, and I felt like a thorn or something, so I just grabbed it to brush it off. It was stinging me, and I just picked up a bee and was like, and threw it, because I don't know what you do with a bee once you realize you're holding a bee. Once again, thank you so much to my wonderful patrons on Patreon. My videos are completely funded by Patreon patrons. How many times can I say patron? One more. Patrons. I'd like to thank my silver sponsors, Alex Buhner, Andrew Dunn, Kieran Benson, Cyberlink420, Dan Millington, Dan McRae, Gadarine, Giselle Nera, Jean-Baptiste Rousey, Marie Byrne, Neve Kinor, Pocket Jawa, and Tasmarty. I'd also like to thank my gold sponsors, Sam Bartram and Doran McEwen. I would, last but not leastly, that's a word, leastly is a word. Diamond sponsors, thank you so much, Epam, Getty Skog, Rosie Kinks, and Sukiyomi. Thank you so much to all of my wonderful patrons. If you want to hop on all over the Patreon, there's stuff over there. Fuck, I don't know. Thank you. I really appreciate the help. I literally would not be able to do these videos without you. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.